My wife handed me the anniversary program at Town Hall, her speech about 150 years of Whitmore family integrity, then went home to the contractor she'd been sleeping with. I'm Thomas Whitmore. I'm 46 years old. I'm the mayor of Millbrook, Vermont, population 6,800. I'm a fourth-generation owner of Whitmore Hardware on Main Street. And until 6 weeks ago, I thought I had a good marriage. The anniversary program was beautiful. I have to give Catherine that. 24 pages, cream-colored cardstock with the town seal embossed on the cover. You could feel the raised outline under your fingertips. The pages were bound with a burgundy ribbon, silky smooth when you ran it through your hand. It smelled like fresh ink, like something important. I was sitting in my office at Town Hall reviewing the program for the April 26th celebration, Millbrook's 250th anniversary, the biggest event our town had ever planned. 3,000 visitors expected. The governor was coming, regional press. It was March 10th, 6 weeks away. I turned to page 8. There it was. The Whitmore family, 4 generations of leadership and enduring love. There was a photo of me and Catherine at our hardware store. The write-up talked about how we'd been married 22 years. High school sweethearts. That part wasn't true, but it made a better story. How I'd built the business while she became principal of Millbrook Regional High. How we represented the values this town was founded on. I read Catherine's scheduled speech excerpt. In Millbrook, we take care of our own. For 250 years, families like the Whitmores have shown us that integrity isn't just a word, it's a way of life. I set the program down, looked at my calendar. April 26th, circled in red, 6 weeks. I went home that night. It was a Tuesday. Catherine was in the kitchen making dinner, pasta. The house smelled like garlic and tomatoes. "How was your day?" she asked, not looking up from the stove. "Fine. Reviewed the program. Your speech looks good." "Thanks." She stirred the sauce. "I've been working on it for weeks." That night I tried to kiss her in our bedroom. She turned her head. "I'm tired, Thomas." "Okay." It had been 4 months. 4 months since we'd been intimate. At first, I thought it was stress. She was running the anniversary committee. The school was in the middle of renovations. She was busy, but 4 months. I lay there in the dark, listening to her breathe, wondering when my wife had become a stranger. 2 mornings later, I was making coffee. Catherine came into the kitchen. She was already dressed for work, gray suit, pearls, her hair perfect. She smiled at me. A real smile. The first one I'd seen in weeks. "Thomas," she said, "I've been thinking." "About what?" "Maybe we should try for another baby." I stared at her. The coffee pot hissed on the burner. "A baby?" "Yes, Hannah's grown. She's at UVM. She'll graduate next year. I've been feeling like there's something missing, don't you?" 4 months. 4 months she'd turned away from me every single time. And now she wanted a baby. I don't know, Catherine. That's a big decision. We'd need to just think about it. She kissed my cheek, light, quick. Then she picked up her bag. "I have an early meeting. See you tonight." The door closed behind her. I stood there in the kitchen, coffee cooling in my cup, trying to understand what had just happened. The first crack came from my nephew Bobby. Bobby's 24, works at the hardware store with me. Good kid, quiet, reliable. It was a Friday night, 2 days after Catherine's baby suggestion. I was closing up the store, counting the register, checking the lights, locking the doors. Bobby had already left at 5. He came back at 10, knocked on the front door. I could see him through the glass, turning his baseball cap in his hands, the way he used to do when he was little and had broken something. I unlocked the door. "Uncle Tom," he said, "I need to tell you something about Aunt Catherine." My stomach dropped, just dropped. "Come in." We sat in the back office. Bobby wouldn't look at me. "I've been seeing something," he said slowly. "Closing up the store late, last 3 weeks, maybe 4 times. Seeing what? A truck, white F-150, contractor truck. It's got a sign on the door. Gallagher Contracting. It's been parked outside the school. Late, like 10, 11 at night. Ryan Gallagher, the new contractor. He'd moved to Millbrook 11 months ago. Won the bid to do renovations at the high school. Catherine's school. Maybe he's working late, I said, in construction schedule. Bobby shook his head. Uncle Tom, the truck is parked in the main lot. Not by the construction entrance, the main lot, where teachers park. You're sure? I'm sure. I noticed it because the engine has this knock. You can hear it from across the street. Needs work. And I noticed it, first time, second time. Then I started noticing it was always there when I close up late. I sat there. The office was quiet. The old building settling, floors creaking. Does he work for the school? Bobby asked. Like, officially, would he need to be there that late? No, he's a contractor. The school closes at 6, except for evening events. Bobby twisted the cap harder. Uncle Tom, I'm not saying, I know what you're saying. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Thank you for telling me. After Bobby left, I sat in that office for another hour, just sat there, the fluorescent lights humming above me. The smell of sawdust and machine oil, the smell of 4 generations of Whitmores running an honest business. A white truck with a knock in the engine, parked where it shouldn't be, 4 times in 3 weeks. My wife, who hadn't touched me in 4 months. My wife, who suddenly wanted a baby. Monday morning, I went to see Maggie Sutton. Maggie Sutton is 68 years old. She's been the town clerk for 45 years. She's known me since I was born. She knew my father, my grandfather. If anyone in Millbrook knows everything, it's Maggie. Her office is on the 2nd floor of Town Hall. I knocked. Come in, Thomas. Maggie was at her desk, reading glasses perched on her nose, surrounded by files and ledgers. The woman is a walking archive of this town. I need a favor, I said. Of course. She looked up, saw my face. Sit down. What kind of favor? The high school. Do you have access to security badge logs? I can get them. Why? I need to see who's been accessing the building after hours. Specifically, I stopped, made myself say it. Specifically, I need to see when Catherine's badge has been used. And if there's a contractor badge for Ryan Gallagher. Maggie took off her glasses, folded them carefully. Thomas, I know what I'm asking. Do you? Yes. She looked at me for a long moment, then she nodded. Come back at 2. I'll have them. At 2 o'clock, I walked back into Maggie's office. She had a stack of paper on her desk, printed spreadsheets, clipped together with a black binder clip. I highlighted the entries, she said quietly. Yellow for Catherine, pink for the contractor. The paper was still warm from the printer. I could smell the toner, chemical and sharp. The highlighter smell hit me when I picked up the stack, that distinct marker scent. I started reading. February 12th. Catherine badge in 6:07 p.m. Out 11:24 p.m. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Catherine badge in 6:03 p.m. Contractor badge in 6:45 p.m. Catherine out 11:18 p.m. Contractor out 11:20 p.m. February 19th. Catherine in 6:15 p.m. Contractor in 7:02 p.m. Catherine out 10:47 p.m. Contractor out 10:48 p.m. March 3rd. Catherine in 5:58 p.m. Contractor in 6:30 p.m. Catherine out 11:35 p.m. Contractor out 11:36 p.m. The pages stuck together slightly as I flipped through them. My hands were shaking. Committee meetings? Maggie asked softly. That's what she told me. Anniversary committee. They've been planning for months. Thomas. Maggie's voice was gentle. The anniversary committee meets on Wednesday afternoons at 4 in the town hall conference room. I booked the room. The highlighted entries swam in front of my eyes. Yellow and pink. Yellow and pink. A pattern. A routine. I'm sorry. Maggie said. I folded the papers, put them in my jacket pocket. Thank you, Maggie. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. I went home. It was a Monday evening. Catherine was already there. I could hear her in the living room, on the phone. I walked into the kitchen, and there it was, sitting on the counter, a Louis Vuitton bag, the monogram canvas. Everyone knows that pattern. The brown and tan and gold. The handles were vachetta leather, pale tan, barely used. The bag smelled expensive, new leather, canvas sizing, that particular smell of luxury goods. I picked it up. The chain hardware jingled softly, a musical sound, gold-tone links. The bag was heavy, substantial, the kind of weight that said money. I looked inside. Red silk lining, stamped in gold. Louis Vuitton, Paris. Catherine came into the kitchen. Oh, you're home. She saw me holding the bag. Do you like it? When did you buy this? Last week. There was a sale. Where? Online. I set the bag down carefully. How much was it? Doesn't matter, it was on sale. Catherine, how much? She bristled. I don't interrogate you about every purchase you make. How much? $2,000, give or take. I pulled out my phone, opened our credit card account, the one we share, scrolled through the charges. Nothing. No charge for $2,000, no charge to Louis Vuitton, nothing. Which card did you use? Thomas, what is this? Why are you... Which card? I don't remember. Can we talk about this later? I have work to do. She picked up the bag, walked out of the kitchen. I stood there, the smell of new leather still in the air. If you've ever found something that didn't add up, a purchase you didn't see, a schedule that changed, a story that shifted, just type "noticed" in the comments. Sometimes our instincts know before our minds want to admit it. You're not alone in that. That night, I couldn't sleep. Catherine was asleep beside me. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling. At 1 a.m, I got up, went downstairs, drove to the store. Whitmore Hardware has been on Main Street since 1875, 4 generations. My great-grandfather built it. My grandfather kept it going through the Depression. My father expanded it, and now me. I unlocked the door, turned on just one light in the back office, went to the safe. Inside the safe, we keep the important things: deeds, insurance papers, and the ledger. The ledger is burgundy leather, old. The kind of old where the leather's cracked like a saddle that's seen too many years. When you open it, the spine groans. The sound of 150 years. The pages are yellowed, thin as tissue paper. The edges used to be marbled in gold, but they've faded to brown. I opened it carefully. The pages crackled, soft as autumn leaves. The smell hit me. Old paper, dust, and that faint scent of machine oil that's been part of this store forever. Great-grandfather's handwriting, 1875. Careful copperplate script. Every transaction recorded, every deal documented. Sold nails to J. Henderson, 035. Paid in full. Grandfather's handwriting, 1930s. Firm's blocky printing. Extended credit to Morrison family. Food shortage. Will settle when harvest comes in. Did settle November 1931. Father's handwriting, in 1970s. Precise engineer's lettering. Town factory closed. Many families struggling. Will accept payment plans, no interest. My handwriting, the last 20 years. Hurried scrawl, but honest. Every transaction, honest. I turned to the last page, blank. I picked up the pen we keep in the ledger. An old fountain pen, cap cracked, but it still writes. I started to write April 12th, 2025, marriage, dissolution. Stopped. My hand was shaking. The pen wavered. A tear fell on the page, on my great-grandfather's page. The paper darkened where it hit. I'm sorry, Dad, I whispered to the empty store, to the ghosts of men who'd sat in the same chair, written in this same book. I'm sorry I couldn't keep it going. 4 generations of integrity, written in this book, Every honest transaction, every promise kept. And I was the one who was going to break it. I closed the ledger, put it back in the safe, locked up, drove home. Tomorrow, Hannah was coming home from college to start filming her documentary. She was doing her senior thesis on enduring love, using me and Catherine as the centerpiece. I pulled into our driveway, looked at our house, all the lights off, everything dark, and I had no idea what I was going to do. Hannah came home on a Saturday morning. My daughter is 21, senior at UVM, studying communications. She's got her mother's eyes and my stubborn streak. She wants to be a documentary filmmaker. Her senior thesis project, a documentary about enduring love in long marriages. She'd been planning it for months, and she'd chosen me and Catherine as her primary subjects. The Whitmore love story, she told me on the phone last month. Fourth-generation mayor, married to the high school principal. You guys are like the heart of Millbrook. I want to capture what makes a marriage last 22 years in a small town where everyone's watching. I hadn't known what to say. Her boyfriend Jake came with her. He's 22, VT student, studying audio engineering. He was going to handle sound for the documentary. They pulled up in Hannah's Honda, the trunk full of camera equipment. I helped them carry it in. Dad! Hannah hugged me tight. I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing. Catherine came down the stairs. She was dressed like she was going to a photo shoot. Hair perfect, makeup perfect, smile perfect. Hannah, sweetheart. She hugged our daughter. Let me see this famous camera. Hannah pulled out the Canon, professional grade. The university had loaned it to her for the project. It was a substantial piece of equipment, black body, large lens, that red recording light on top. This is the EOS R5, Hannah said, handling it carefully. It's mirrorless, so the autofocus is incredible, and the sensor... She kept talking about specs. I watched Catherine, watched her smile, watched her touch Hannah's arm, laugh at something Jake said. She was performing. I'd never noticed it before, but now I couldn't unsee it. Okay, Hannah said, setting up the camera on a tripod in the living room. I want to start with something simple, just you two sitting together talking about what makes your marriage work. Catherine sat on the couch, patted the cushion next to her. I sat down, not too close, not too far. Hannah adjusted the camera. The autofocus motor whirred softly, hunting for our faces. The LCD screen on the back glowed blue. Jake clipped small microphones to our shirts. Okay, Hannah said from behind the camera. Whenever you're ready, just talk naturally. What makes your marriage work? Catherine reached for my hand. I let her take it. Her hand was cold, or maybe mine was. Well, Catherine said, looking at the camera with that smile, I think it's about partnership. Thomas and I, we've built this life together. The store, my career at the school, raising Hannah. We're a team. The camera's red light blinked. Recording. Thomas? Hannah prompted. What would you say? I looked at Catherine, at her perfect hair, her perfect smile, her cold hand in mine. Trust, I said. I'd say it's about trust. Catherine squeezed my hand, smiled wider. The camera kept recording. Monday afternoon, I had a town council meeting. Town council meets twice a month, 7 members, plus me. We handle everything from snow removal contracts to zoning permits. Today's agenda, the town square renovation project, Ryan Gallagher's bid. The council chamber was full, 40 people in the gallery. It was a big project, $2 million. New fountain, new benches, new landscaping, all for the anniversary celebration. Ryan was there to present. He stood at the podium with his blueprints. As you can see, he said, pointing to the designs, we've preserved the historical character while modernizing the infrastructure. He unrolled the plans, large sheets, white paper with blue technical lines. The paper crinkled loudly in the quiet chamber. He'd secured them with a rubber band. It snapped when he removed it. The plans were detailed, professional. Catherine had praised them at the last committee meeting, had gone on and on about how Ryan really understood the town's vision. I watched her now. She was sitting in the first row of the gallery, taking notes. She looked up at Ryan. He glanced at her, brief eye contact, then away. But I'd seen it. The vote was scheduled for next week, April 10th, 2 weeks away. After the meeting, Frank Chen caught my arm in the hallway. Frank is the police chief. We've been friends since we were kids, grew up together. He knows me better than almost anyone. "Tom," he said quietly, "can we talk?" We stepped into an empty office. Frank closed the door. His face was serious, police chief serious. "I need to tell you something," he said. "Not as your friend, as police chief." "Okay." "If Catherine's on the committee that hired Ryan Gallagher," she is, she chairs it, "and if they're..." He stopped, started again. "If there's any kind of personal relationship between them, that's a conflict of interest. That's contract fraud, Tom. I'd have to investigate." I leaned against the desk. "How much do you know?" "Enough. Small town. People talk." He paused. "Bobby's not the only one who's noticed the truck." "Who else?" "Does it matter?" "The point is, if you're going to deal with this, you need to deal with it before that vote. Because if that contract gets approved and then this comes out, it's not just your marriage that's destroyed. It's the town's liability. It's criminal charges. It's..." He stopped. "It's a goddamn mess, Tom." I nodded. "What are you going to do?" Frank asked. "I don't know yet." "Well, you've got 2 weeks to figure it out. April 10th, that vote happens and everything changes." Tuesday morning, Bobby came into the store before we opened. He had something rolled up under his arm, paper, large sheets. "Uncle Tom," he said, "I found something." We went into the back office. Bobby closed the door. He unrolled the paper on the desk. Blueprints, the renovation plans for Town Square, but different from the ones Ryan had shown at the meeting. Earlier drafts, maybe. The paper was crinkled, like it had been thrown away, pulled from a dumpster. "Where did you get this?" "Ryan's work site. I was throwing out some boxes from the store. We share the dumpster out back behind the bakery where he rents his apartment. These were in there. I wouldn't have looked, but the wind caught them, and I grabbed them before they blew away, and..." Bobby pointed to the margin at the bottom of the page. "Uncle Tom, look." I looked. Handwriting. Pen. In the white margin. Catherine's handwriting. I'd seen it on grocery lists for 22 years. Birthday cards, notes on the refrigerator, her distinctive script, letters slanting right, loops on the G's. "Perfect design. Can't wait to celebrate with you tomorrow night." C. And at the end, a heart, hand-drawn, the kind you draw without thinking, the kind you draw when you're feeling something. Bobby was quiet. I smoothed the plans flat under the fluorescent lights. The paper made that particular crinkling sound, architectural vellum, the kind that doesn't tear easy. "She wasn't just approving his bids," I said slowly. "She was helping him design them. Uncle Tom. She was in on it from the beginning. This isn't just..." I stopped, made myself say it. "This isn't just an affair. This is conspiracy. This is fraud." Bobby twisted his baseball cap in his hands. The same gesture from a week ago. "What are you going to do?" "I need to think." But I was already thinking. I was thinking about Frank's warning, about the vote in 2 weeks, about Catherine on that committee, about Ryan's bid, the bid she'd helped him design, about 6,800 people in this town who trusted me to do the right thing. I didn't go home that night. I drove out to Ryan's construction site instead, the town square renovation. Ground had been broken last month, pending final contract approval. Ryan was there securing equipment for the night. His white F-150 was parked by the fence. I got out of my truck, walked over. Ryan saw me, straightened up. He's 34, former college athlete. The kind of guy who uses his charm like a tool. "Mayor," he said, "what can I do for you?" "We need to talk." "About the project?" "Votes next week. I think it's going to go well." "It's not about the project." He stopped, looked at me. Understanding dawned on his face. "Ah, yeah, ah." He leaned against his truck. The engine was still ticking from being driven, cooling down. The distinctive knock I'd heard about, the smell of diesel exhaust hung in the cold air. "Look," Ryan said, "I don't know what you think. I think you're sleeping with my wife. I think you've been sleeping with her for months. I think she helped you design your bid for a $2 million contract. And I think you both know exactly what you're doing." Ryan was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. Actually smiled. "Okay," he said, "you want to have this conversation? Let's have it. Yeah. Catherine and I are involved. But here's the thing, Mayor. She came on to me. She's my boss on this project." What was I supposed to say? No? He laughed. A short, bitter sound. "I'm 34 years old, new to this town, trying to build a business. The high school principal, the mayor's wife, the chair of the anniversary committee. She's interested in me. What would you have done?" I stared at him. "You're a coward. I'm a realist. And here's some more realism for you. You tell people about this, I'll tell them my version. That she pursued me. That she used her position. That I was uncomfortable but didn't know how to say no. Who do you think this town will believe? The principal who hired me, who everyone loves, who's been here for 20 years? Or the mayor who's trying to tank a contract right before the biggest celebration in town history?" His truck engine knocked. Tick, tick, tick. "You'd destroy her to save yourself, wouldn't you?" Ryan said. "Isn't that what you're about to do? Destroy her to save what? Your pride? Your reputation?" I stepped closer to him. "Get out." "What?" "Get out of Millbrook. Withdraw your bid. Leave." Ryan laughed again. "I'm not going anywhere, Mayor. That contract is mine. Catherine made sure of that. Then I'll make sure you don't get it." "How? By telling everyone your wife's cheating on you? By making yourself look like a fool? By ruining the anniversary celebration that your family has been planning for a year?" He pushed off from the truck. "You want to expose this? Go ahead. But think about who gets hurt. Think about your daughter. Think about this town. Think about 150 years of Whitmore family integrity." He got in his truck, started the engine. That knock, loud now, diesel exhaust billowing. "See you at the vote, Mayor." He drove off. I stood there in the empty lot, tools and equipment all around, the skeleton of the new fountain rising behind me, and I realized he'd used the exact same words Catherine had used. "In Millbrook, we take care of our own. 150 years of Whitmore family integrity." They'd planned this. They'd talked about it. They knew exactly what to say to keep me quiet. If you were me, standing in that parking lot knowing what I knew, would you stay silent until after April 26th to protect 6,800 people's celebration? Type silent. Or would you expose everything immediately and let the truth fall where it falls? Type truth. What would you do? There's no right answer here. Silent means protecting the town, but living a lie. Truth means integrity, but destroying something bigger than yourself. Either way, someone gets hurt. Wednesday morning, I went to see Pastor Ellen Morrison. Ellen is 58. She's been the Methodist minister for 15 years. She does counseling, marriage counseling, individual counseling. She's good at it. People trust her. I'd never been to her for counseling, but Catherine had. I knocked on her office door at the church. She opened it, saw my face. "Thomas, come in." Her office smelled like old books and coffee. Shelves lined the walls, a desk by the window, 2 chairs facing each other. "I need to ask you something. I said, and I know it's a violation of confidentiality, but I need to know. Ellen sat down, gestured for me to sit. What do you need? Catherine came to see you for counseling about 8 years ago. Ellen's face didn't change, but her hands did. She clasped them together, tight. Thomas, I need to know what she said. I need to know if this is a pattern. Ellen was quiet for a long time. Then she got up, went to her filing cabinet, pulled out a folder, old, yellowed paper. She sat back down, opened it. I'm breaking confidentiality because I think you're in danger of making a terrible decision based on incomplete information, she said carefully. And because I think you deserve to know the truth. She pulled out a page, her handwriting, notes from a counseling session. 2017. June 15th, 2017, Ellen read quietly. Client states she feels trapped in marriage, loves her husband but isn't in love anymore, feels she married the wrong person but can't leave due to town expectations and family reputation, describes feeling suffocated by small-town life, wishes she'd stayed in Boston, considers marriage a life sentence she agreed to too young. She set the paper down. Thomas, she said this 8 years ago. 8 years. She came for 3 sessions, then stopped. Didn't want to continue because she said she'd made peace with it. But the feelings were there. They've always been there. I couldn't speak. This isn't a mistake that happened, Ellen said gently. This is who she's been. Maybe not actively cheating, but emotionally checked out. For years. I never knew. She didn't want you to know. She's very good at performing. I stood up, needed to move, needed to... What do I do? That's not for me to say, but I'll tell you this. You've spent 22 years being married to someone who didn't want to be married to you. And you didn't know because she's very skilled at pretending. The affair isn't the problem, Thomas. The affair is a symptom. The problem is that you've been living a lie since before you even knew you were living one. I left the church, drove around, just drove. 8 years. She'd been unhappy for 8 years, had told a counselor, had used the words wrong person and life sentence and trapped. And I'd had no idea. I'd thought we were happy. I'd thought we were building something. I'd thought wrong. That night, I couldn't go home. I went to the store again. It was midnight. The store was dark. I let myself in, sat in the back office with just the desk lamp on. My phone buzzed. Email from Hannah. Dad, sending you rough cut of first section. Let me know what you think. Love you. I opened the attachment, video file. I watched on my laptop. The screen showed our living room, me and Catherine on the couch, Hannah behind the camera. Whenever you're ready, just talk naturally. What makes your marriage work? Catherine's voice. Well, I think it's about partnership. I watched. The camera stayed on us. Standard shot, medium, close up. Then Hannah's video pulled wider, establishing shot of the whole room. And there, in the background, Catherine's phone on the side table. Screen lit up. You could see it buzzing. Catherine glanced at it for just a second. Her face changed. A smile, small, private. I backed up the video, watched again. She smiled at the phone while I was talking about trust. She checked her phone and smiled. I kept watching. Hannah had been filming for 3 months, she said, different events around town, gathering footage. There was September town council meeting. I'm at the podium giving an update on the anniversary planning. Wide shot. Catherine in the audience, phone out, looking down, smiling, camera pans, Ryan Gallagher in the crowd, phone out, same moment, October, Harvest Festival. I'm on stage with the other town leaders. We're talking about community values. Camera pulls wide for a crowd shot. There's Catherine, side of the frame, looking at her phone, that same small smile. There's Ryan, other side of the frame, phone visible. You can't see his face, but his posture. December, Christmas tree lighting ceremony. I'm reading a passage about family and tradition, my voice over the speakers, the camera getting establishing shots of the crowd. Catherine, third row, not watching me, looking at her phone. Ryan, back of the crowd, phone out 3 times, September, October, December. The affair was in the footage. The whole time, Hannah had been filming it without knowing. It was there, in the background, in the frame. And in 6 days, 800 people were going to watch this documentary at the anniversary celebration premiere. 800 people were going to see what Hannah hadn't seen yet. They were going to see Catherine smiling at her phone while I talked about trust. I sat there in the dark store, laptop screen the only light, watching myself say our marriage is built on absolute trust, while my wife, in the background, in the frame, looked at another man through her phone, and I realized the truth was already public. It had been public for months. It was just waiting for someone to notice. I didn't sleep that night. At 6 a.m, I called Frank Chen. I need an emergency council meeting, I said. Today. Tom. Today, Frank, this can't wait. What are you going to do? What I should have done 2 weeks ago. By 5 o'clock that evening, the council chamber was packed. Emergency meetings are rare. When the mayor calls one, people notice. 60 people in the gallery, all 7 council members, the town attorney, Jennifer Walsh, our lawyer, sitting in the front row with her briefcase, local press in the back, the Millbrook Gazette, even a stringer from the Burlington Free Press. I stood outside the chamber doors, evidence folder in my hands, everything. Badge logs, the renovation plans with Catherine's handwriting, Bobby's statement about the truck, credit card statements, Ryan had bought that handbag, Maggie had pulled the records, $2,100 charge to Louis Vuitton Boston, dated Catherine's birthday, the pregnancy test box. Receipt showing Catherine bought it 4 weeks before she suggested a baby to me. Everything. My hands were shaking. I could feel the folder trembling. I could walk away. Right now. Turn around. Protect the celebration. Protect 150 years of reputation. Stay silent for 18 more days. Or I could walk through those doors. I reached for the handle. Opened the door. Walked in. Every head turned. The room went quiet. I walked to the front, to the podium. The same podium where I'd given 100 speeches, where my father had given speeches, where my grandfather had stood and told the truth even when it was hard. The town gavel was on the podium, maple wood, dark stain, brass band engraved Millbrook Est, 1775, the handle worn smooth by generations of hands. I picked it up. My hand was shaking so badly everyone could see. I struck the gavel. The crack echoed through the chamber. Sharp. Final. This emergency meeting is called to order. My voice wavered. I steadied it. I need to recuse myself from the vote on the town square renovation contract scheduled for April 10th. Murmurs in the gallery. And I need to explain why. I set the gavel down, opened the folder. 3 weeks ago, my nephew Bobby Whitmore observed a contractor vehicle belonging to Ryan Gallagher parked at Millbrook Regional High School on 4 separate occasions, late at night, between 10 and 11 p.m., parked in the main lot, not the construction area. I pulled out Bobby's written statement, set it on the podium. I requested security badge access logs from the high school. These logs show a pattern. On multiple dates over the past 3 months, Principal Catherine Whitmore's badge accessed the building between 6 and 7 p.m. She exited between 10:30 and 11:30 p.m. On those same dates, the contractor badge for Ryan Gallagher accessed the building shortly after Principal Whitmore and exited within 2 minutes of her departure. I laid out the highlighted spreadsheets. People in the front row could see them, yellow and pink, a pattern. This would suggest a personal relationship between the principal and the contractor. More murmurs, louder now. Principal Whitmore chairs the anniversary celebration committee. That committee issued the request for proposals for the town square renovation. The committee recommended Ryan Gallagher's bid at $2 million. I pulled out the blueprints, the ones from the dumpster, smoothed them on the podium. These are draft plans for the renovation, discarded plans. They contain handwritten notes in the margin, notes in Principal Whitmore's handwriting, notes suggesting she was not merely evaluating bids, but actively participating in the design of Mr. Gallagher's proposal. I read the note aloud. My voice didn't shake this time. Perfect design. Can't wait to celebrate with you tomorrow night. Signed with her initial and a heart. The room exploded. Voices. Shock. The gavel nearly fell off the podium. Frank Chen stood up. Police chief voice. Order! Order in this chamber. The noise subsided. Jennifer Walsh stood. Mayor Whitmore, these are serious allegations. Conflict of interest, potentially criminal conflict of interest. Do you have additional evidence? I pulled out the credit card statement. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, a charge for $2,400 was made on Ryan Gallagher's personal credit card, Louis Vuitton, Boston. That same day, a Louis Vuitton handbag appeared in my home. My wife claimed she purchased it on sale. There is no corresponding charge on any credit card account in her name or our joint accounts. I set down the statement. A gift from the contractor to the woman who chairs the committee awarding him a $2 million contract. Jennifer was writing furiously. There's one more thing, I said quietly. 3 months ago, my wife refused intimacy with me. For 4 months, I stopped, made myself continue. For 4 months, she turned away from me. Then, 2 weeks ago, she suggested we try for another baby. I found a pregnancy test in our bathroom. The receipt shows she purchased it 4 weeks before she made that suggestion to me. She knew she was pregnant, and she tried to pass that child off as mine. Silence. Complete silence. I'm asking the council to reject Ryan Gallagher's bid. I'm asking for an investigation into contract fraud. I'm recusing myself from all votes regarding this matter. I picked up the gavel one more time, and I'm filing for divorce. I struck the gavel. The sound cracked through the chamber. This meeting is adjourned. The council voted 7-0. Ryan Gallagher's bid rejected. Investigation opened. Catherine's position as principal suspended pending review. By the next morning, Ryan was gone, left town. Frank issued a warrant, but Ryan had fled, probably back to wherever he'd come from, probably to do the same thing to someone else. Catherine moved out, went to her mother's house in Boston, wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't answer calls. That was fine. Our lawyers could talk, but I had to talk to Hannah. She came home on Thursday. I'd texted her, "Need to see you. Come to the store." It was midnight when she arrived. Her Honda pulled up outside Whitmore Hardware. The lights were off except for the back office. She came in, saw my face. "Dad? What's wrong? Your text..." "Sit down, honey." She sat. I sat across from her, the desk between us. "I need to tell you something, and it's gonna hurt, and I'm sorry." "You're scaring me." "I know. I'm sorry." I took a breath. "Your mom and I are getting divorced." Hannah's face went white. "What? Why? Dad, you're fine. You're happy. I just filmed you." "We're not fine. We haven't been fine for a long time. I just didn't know it." "I don't understand." I pulled out the folder, the same folder from the council meeting. "Your mom has been having an affair with Ryan Gallagher, the contractor. It's been going on for months." "No." Hannah shook her head. "No, Dad, that's not possible. I've been filming you. I've been watching you together. You're a team. Hannah, look at me." She looked. She had tears in her eyes already. I have evidence. I'm going to show it to you because you deserve to know the truth, but it's going to be hard. I laid it out, piece by piece, the security logs, the renovation plans with the handwriting, the credit card statement, the pregnancy test. Hannah picked up each piece, read it, set it down carefully, like it might shatter. Her hands were shaking. "The baby," she whispered, "isn't mine." "Oh my God." She put her face in her hands, started crying. I came around the desk, knelt beside her chair. "Hannah, sweetheart, I'm so sorry." "My whole project," she said through tears, "my whole thesis, it's about you and Mom. It's about enduring love. It's about," she sobbed, "everything I believed was a lie. My college essay, my career plan. I want to study marriage counseling because of you too. Because you showed me what real love looks like." "I know. But it wasn't real. None of it was real." "No, it wasn't." She cried for a long time. I held her, let her grieve. Finally, she pulled back, wiped her eyes. "There's something else you need to see," I said gently. I opened my laptop, pulled up her documentary footage, the rough cuts she'd sent me. "Watch the background," I said. I showed her September, October, December, Catherine with her phone, smiling, Ryan in the crowd, the pattern. Hannah watched. Her face was pale. She didn't blink. When it was over, she sat back. "It's in my footage," she said slowly. "The affair is in my footage. I filmed it. I didn't see it, but I filmed it." "Yes." "The premiere is in 6 days. 800 people are going to watch this at the anniversary celebration." "I know." She was quiet for a long time. Then she picked up the evidence again. The badge logs, the plans with the handwriting, the credit card statement. She looked at me. "All my life," she said, her voice shaking, "you taught me to tell the truth. You taught me that truth matters more than being comfortable. That integrity isn't convenient. That's what you're doing right now, isn't it, Dad? Even though it kills you." I nodded, couldn't speak. She wiped her eyes, squared her shoulders. "Then that's what I'm doing too. Hannah, I'm changing my documentary ending. The real ending, not the one I planned, the one that's true." She stood up. "If we're going to break, we're going to break honest." April 26th came, the 250th anniversary celebration. Perfect spring day, town square full of people, 3,000 visitors. The governor gave a speech. There were food vendors and crafts and music. The town square renovation was half finished. Ryan's work abandoned. The fountain skeleton still standing. They'd covered it with a banner. "Coming soon. Thanks for your patience." I wasn't on stage. I'd withdrawn from the senior pastor. No, wrong story. I'd withdrawn from running for re-election as mayor. Maggie Sutton had been appointed to finish my term, but I was there, in the crowd, because Hannah's documentary was premiering, 7 p.m. town hall. They'd set up a screening room, 800 seats, all full. I sat in the back row, alone. The lights dimmed. Hannah's documentary started. It was beautiful. She's talented. The footage of Millbrook, the seasons, the people, the town square, Main Street, the hardware store, families who'd been here for generations. The title, Built on Solid Foundations, 250 Years of Millbrook. Then it got to the marriage section. Me and Catherine on the couch. "What makes your marriage work?" Catherine's voice, "Partnership. We're a team." My voice, "Trust." I'd say it's about trust. The footage played, the town council meetings, the harvest festival, the Christmas ceremony. And then, at the point where the old ending should have been, it kept going. New footage. Me in the hardware store late at night, the ledger open on the desk, picking up the pen, Hannah's voiceover. My senior project was supposed to be about enduring love. Instead, I learned about enduring truth. The screen showed me and Hannah walking through town square at dawn. Empty, just us. My father lost his marriage of 22 years. He lost his position as mayor. He stood here in this town that's been his whole life and told the truth even though it cost him everything. Cut to the hardware store. The sign. Whitmore Hardware since 1875. My father didn't break our family's legacy. He honored it because the Whitmores have always told the truth, even when it cost them, especially when it cost them. The screen showed the ledger, close up on the pages, 4 generations of handwriting. In Millbrook, we take care of our own, and taking care of each other means telling the truth, even when lies would be easier, even when the truth destroys something we thought was solid. Cut to footage of the town, people I knew, families, the hardware store customers, Frank Chen, Maggie Sutton, Pastor Ellen, Bobby. 250 years of history built on solid foundations, and the strongest foundation is honesty. Final shot, me and Hannah in town square. Spring morning, looking at the half-finished fountain. Hannah's voice. We're still building, we're still here, but now we're building on truth. The screen went black. Silence, complete silence. I sat in the dark, waiting, knowing this could go either way, knowing the town could turn on me, on us, knowing someone stood up. Maggie Sutton in the front row, then Frank Chen, then Pastor Ellen, then one by one, row by row, 800 people rose to their feet. Standing ovation for honesty. Hannah was crying on stage. I could see her in the lights from the screen. She was looking back into the darkness, looking for me. I stood up, raised my hand so she could see. She saw, nodded. The applause went on, and I realized the town hadn't rejected us. The town had chosen truth with us. Thomas and Hannah redefined what family means. Not who you're born to or who stays comfortable, but who shows up with truth when it's hard. If you've built your own chosen family through honesty, if you've had to rebuild after everything broke, tell me about them in the comments. I want to hear your story. And if this story moved you, if it meant something, subscribe. I tell stories about integrity, betrayal, and the courage it takes to choose truth when lies would be easier. I'll see you in the next one. 2 years later. Autumn 2027. I'm in town square on a Sunday afternoon. The renovation is finished now. Different contractor, but it's beautiful. New fountain, new benches, everything the town wanted. There's a little girl holding my hand. She's 2 years old. Brown curls, Catherine's eyes. Not Catherine's daughter, though. Ryan signed away parental rights. Part of the settlement. Catherine tried to keep her, but, well, that didn't work out. The court saw the pattern, the manipulation, the instability. I have custody now. Hannah's here too. She's filming, working on a documentary sequel about healing, about what comes after everything breaks. The toddler stumbles. I catch her. She laughs. Again, she says. Okay, one more time. I let her go. She takes 3 wobbly steps, falls into my arms. Hannah's camera is recording. That little red light, always watching, always remembering, but this time it's recording something true. Maggie Sutton is watching from the town hall steps. She waves. She's been a good mayor, better than I was, probably. More patient. The town's doing well. Other families are in the square. Other founding families, the Morrisons, the Chens, their kids playing on the new benches, climbing on the fountain edge. The town didn't fall apart when the truth came out. It got honest. And that's better than perfect ever was. Hannah turns off the camera, sits on the bench next to me. The toddler climbs into her lap. "Aunt Hannah," the little girl says, "story." "What story do you want?" "The town story." Hannah looks at me, smiles. "Okay. Once upon a time, there was a town called Millbrook, and it was built on solid foundations. Want to know what those foundations were?" "What?" "Truth," Hannah says. "Not perfect, not pretty, just true." The toddler nods seriously, like she understands. Maybe she does. Maybe she'll grow up knowing that truth matters more than image. That family isn't who you're born to, it's who shows up, who tells the truth even when it's hard. Maybe she'll grow up knowing that in Millbrook, we take care of our own. And taking care of each other means being honest, always. The sun is setting behind Town Hall. The maple trees are turning gold and red. There's a chill in the air, autumn in Vermont. I pick up the toddler. She puts her head on my shoulder. Home? She asks. Yeah, sweetheart, home. Hannah packs up her camera. We walk across the square together, past the fountain, past the hardware store. Bobby's running it now. I still own it, but he's doing the day-to-day. Past the spot where I stood with that evidence folder 2 years ago, where I made the choice. It was the right choice. Not the easy one, but the right one. And that's the only kind of foundation worth building on.